The road was almost invisible in the soft night fog. It stretched far into the distance, disappearing somewhere between the trees and the darkness beyond. There were no sounds, no wind, no distant voices, only the quiet, deep and endless, like the world itself had fallen asleep. The moon hung low in the sky, pale and calm, casting a gentle silver light over the path. It wasn't bright. It didn't need to be. Just enough to see where the road began and where it slowly faded away. This road had always been here. People used it during the day. Farmers, travelers, merchants. But at night, almost no one walked this way. Not because it was dangerous, not because something was hiding in the dark, but because it felt different, as if the road belonged to the night more than it ever did to the day. And those who walked it after sunset often said the same thing, that time felt slower here, that their thoughts became quieter, that something unseen was gently watching over the path, not in a way that brought fear, but in a way that made you feel noticed. And tonight, once again, someone was walking this road. His steps were slow, unhurried, each foot touching the ground softly, as if he did not want to disturb the silence around him. He had been walking for a long time, long enough for the world behind him to fade, long enough for the road ahead to feel like the only thing that mattered. He didn't remember exactly why he had chosen this path. Maybe it was shorter, maybe it was quieter, or maybe he simply needed to be alone. The air was cool, but not cold. It wrapped gently around him, like a soft blanket. His breath moved steadily, in and out, matching the slow rhythm of his steps. He wasn't afraid, not even a little. There was something comforting about this place, something peaceful, as if the road itself was guiding him forward, without asking questions, without demanding anything in return. He looked up for a moment. The moonlight touched the trees, the ground, the thin mist that moved almost invisibly across the path. Everything felt still, balanced, almost unreal. And then something changed. Not suddenly, not sharply, just a small shift, so quiet that it could almost be missed. He slowed down, not because he was scared, but because something ahead of him felt different. At first, he thought it was just the fog, a shape, a trick of light and shadow, something the mind creates when it stares too long into the dark. But as he took another step forward, the shape remained. It did not move. It did not disappear. It became clearer. A roof, low, simple, a chimney, still, and then a soft glow, warm, golden, coming from within. A house, standing quietly at the side of the road, as if it had always been there. And yet, he was certain it hadn't. He had walked this path before, more than once, and he had never seen it. Not during the day, not in the evening, not even from a distance. But now, there it was. Small, calm, almost welcoming. The light in the windows flickered gently, like candle flames moving in a quiet room. No smoke rose from the chimney. No sound came from inside. Just light, warm, steady, inviting. He stopped, not in fear, but in quiet wonder, because something about the house felt right, as if it belonged here, as if it had been waiting, Not for anyone, but for someone. He stood still for a moment, watching the house from a distance. There was no movement, no sign of life. And yet, it didn't feel empty. It felt calm, peaceful, like a place where nothing rushed, where nothing needed to. He took a slow breath. The air felt warmer here, not by much, just enough to notice, just enough to feel comfortable. Curiosity moved through him quietly, not sharp, not urgent, just a soft pull, like a thought that slowly forms without asking for attention. He had no reason to approach, no need to, and yet his feet began to move. Step by step, he walked closer. The ground beneath him felt softer now, the fog thinner, the silence deeper, as if the world outside the house was slowly fading away. He didn't question it. He didn't resist, because there was no fear, only a quiet feeling that he was exactly where he needed to be. The closer he came, the more the light changed. It was no longer distant, no longer faint. It wrapped around him softly, touching his face, his hands, his thoughts. Warm, gentle, like the glow of a fire on a cold evening. The windows were simple, old glass, slightly uneven. Behind them, he could see shadows, shapes of furniture, a table, a chair, a quiet room, still, undisturbed. He stopped just a few steps away from the door. It was slightly open, not wide, just enough, as if someone had left it that way on purpose, or perhaps as if it had never been fully closed. The light from inside spilled gently onto the ground before him, a soft golden path, inviting, but not demanding. He stood there in silence, listening, but there was nothing to hear. No voices, no footsteps, no movement, only the quiet and the steady glow from within. For a moment, he wondered if he should turn back, if this place was meant to remain untouched. But the feeling passed, slowly, naturally, like a thought drifting away. And in its place came something else. Not a decision, not a choice, just a quiet understanding that the night had brought him here for a reason. And whatever waited inside was not something to fear, but something to discover. He stepped closer to the window, slowly, quietly, as if the moment itself could be disturbed by a single careless movement. The glass was old, not perfectly clear. It softened everything inside, turning shapes into gentle silhouettes. But the light was warm, steady, alive. He leaned slightly, just enough to see within. A wooden table stood near the center of the room, simple, worn by time. On it, a candle burned softly. Its flame moved almost lazily, swaying from side to side, without wind, without reason. Beside it, a cup. Steam rose from it in slow, delicate lines, curling into the air, then fading. Fresh, as if it had been placed there only moments ago. But there was no one, no figure, no shadow of movement, no sound of breath. Only the quiet room, waiting. He didn't feel fear, not even now. Instead, there was something else. a calm curiosity, as if the house was not hiding anything, but simply allowing him to see what it wanted to show. He turned toward the door, still slightly open, still unmoving. It hadn't shifted, not even a little. The space between the door and the frame was narrow, but enough. Enough for light to escape, enough for warmth to reach him. He stood there for a moment, not deciding, not hesitating, just existing in that quiet space between outside and inside. The night behind him felt distant now. The road, the trees, the fog, they seemed farther away than they should have been, as if they no longer mattered. He raised his hand, slowly, gently, and pushed the door. It opened without a sound, no creak, no resistance, as if it had been waiting for that exact moment. The light welcomed him, soft, unchanging, and as he stepped across the threshold, something shifted. Not outside, not inside, but within him, like crossing an invisible line between what is known and what is quietly waiting to be understood. The air inside was warmer, not heavy, not thick, just still, comfortably still, the kind of stillness that makes you slow down without thinking. The floor beneath his feet was wooden, old, each step soft, barely making a sound. The room was simple: a table, a chair, a small shelf along the wall. Nothing more, nothing unnecessary. The candle continued to burn at the center of the table. Its light filled the space completely. No dark corners, no hidden shapes, only soft shadows, moving gently with the flame. He stepped closer. The cup of tea rested beside the candle, steam still rising. Slowly, endlessly, he reached out his hand, then paused, not because he was unsure, but because something told him this moment did not need to be rushed. The house was not a place of action. It was a place of presence, of quiet awareness. He sat down, carefully. The chair welcomed him without a sound, and for the first time since he began walking that road, he stopped, completely. Scene 9. The stillness. Time seemed to loosen its hold. The candle flickered. The steam rose. The silence deepened. He rested his hands on the table and simply breathed. In and out. Slowly. Naturally. There was nothing to think about. No questions pressing forward. No need to understand. The house did not ask anything of him. It did not explain itself. It did not reveal its purpose. It simply existed and allowed him to exist with it. Moments passed, or perhaps much longer. It was impossible to tell. The light never changed. The flame never dimmed. The steam from the cup never faded. Everything remained just as it was, perfectly balanced, perfectly still. He felt something soften within him, a quiet release, as if all the noise he carried, all the weight of thoughts and time had been gently set aside. And here, in this small, quiet house, there was nothing left to hold. He closed his eyes, not to sleep, but simply to rest in the stillness. The warmth of the room surrounded him. The gentle glow of the candle touched his face, and the silence became something more. Not empty, not distant, but full of quiet, full of calm, as if the night itself had gathered inside this place. and was holding everything gently in its presence. He no longer wondered how the house appeared, or why it had been waiting. Those questions felt far away now, unnecessary, because some things are not meant to be understood, only experienced. The road, the fog, the world beyond the door, all of it felt distant, unimportant. Here, there was only this moment, this quiet, this calm, and somewhere deep within, a simple, peaceful thought appeared, that perhaps the house did not come from the night, but from something else, something that appears only when the world becomes quiet enough to notice it. And slowly, very slowly, the night continued to pass, holding him there, in perfect stillness. At first, he did not notice the change. The candle still burned. The air was still warm. The silence still deep. But slowly, very slowly, something shifted. A faint blue light appeared near the edges of the window. Soft, barely there, like the first breath of morning. He opened his eyes. Not suddenly, not with surprise, but gently, as if he had never fully fallen asleep. The room was the same. The table, the chair, the candle, the cup, still untouched, still waiting. And yet, the light had changed. The golden warmth of night was fading, replaced by something cooler, softer, more distant. He turned his head toward the window. The fog outside had thinned. The trees were becoming visible again, shapes returning, edges forming. The world was coming back. But the house remained unchanged, as if it existed outside of time, unmoved by night, unmoved by morning. He sat there quietly, watching the slow arrival of day, and for a moment he wondered if the house would still be there when the light fully arrived. He stood up slowly. The chair made no sound. The floor remained still beneath his feet. Everything was as it had been, calm, balanced, unchanging. He walked toward the door, each step soft, measured, without urgency. The light from outside grew stronger, the blue of early morning spreading across the ground. He reached the doorway and paused, not out of hesitation, but out of quiet awareness, as if something inside him already knew what he would find. He stepped outside. The air was cooler now, fresh, light. The fog had almost disappeared. The road stretched ahead, clear and simple. The trees stood silent once more, ordinary, still. He turned around, slowly, and the house was gone. No door, no window, no light, no trace. Only an empty space where it had once been. Grass, dew, a soft imprint on the ground, already fading. He stood there for a long moment, not confused, not afraid, just still, as if part of him had expected this, as if the house had never truly belonged to the morning. That day passed quietly, like any other. The road was used again. People walked it, spoke, laughed, carried their lives forward. No one mentioned a house. No one had seen it. No one had felt its warmth. And he said nothing, because there was nothing to explain, nothing to prove, only a memory, soft, calm, almost dreamlike, but not forgotten. When evening came, he found himself thinking of the road again, not with urgency, not with need, but with a quiet pull, the same gentle feeling that had led him there before. The sky darkened slowly, the air cooled, the world softened once more, and without deciding, without planning, he began to walk, step by step, back along the same path, the same trees, the same silence, the same moon waiting above. He walked calmly, as if returning to something familiar, as if the night itself had remembered him. The road felt the same, and yet different, not in appearance, not in sound, but in feeling, as if something was waiting, not ahead, but already present. He continued walking, slowly, breathing softly, and then there it was, the house, standing exactly where it had been before, small, quiet, warm, the same gentle light glowing in the windows, the same calm presence resting beside the road. It had not changed, not even slightly, as if the time between night and day had never existed for it. He stopped, just for a moment, and then a quiet realization came. Not a thought, not words, just a feeling that the house did not appear randomly. It appeared when it was needed, when the world became quiet enough, when the mind stopped searching, when the moment was ready. He stepped forward again, not as a stranger this time, but as someone returning. He entered the house once more. The door opened without sound. The candle burned as before. The cup waited. The air was warm, still, unchanging. He sat down again, in the same place, at the same table, and as he rested his hands, a quiet understanding unfolded within him. The house was not a place, not in the way the world understands places. It did not belong to the road, or the forest, or the land beneath it. It belonged to something else, to stillness, to silence, to the space between thoughts. It appeared not in the night itself, but in the moment when everything becomes quiet enough to notice it. And perhaps it had always been there, not hidden, not lost, just unseen, waiting for anyone who slowed down enough to find it. He closed his eyes again. The candle flickered softly, the silence deepened, and somewhere beyond the house, the world continued, busy, loud, endless. But here, there was only calm, only warmth, only quiet, and the understanding that the house would return again and again whenever it was needed. Not for everyone, but for those who were ready to stop and simply be.